saying poor Palestine is about like saying poor America. Uh-uh. Ain't cool. America is slipping into hell right now, and with all due respect, Americans deserve it. I want you to take a look at the dead body. That's right. That was a woman at a peace festival in Israel. She's dead. In that room with that corpse are 40 other dead people. See, here's the thing that the Israelis figured out a long time ago. When you appease terrorists, the terrorists get more brazen. Take a look at terrorists like Adolf Hitler, Heinrich Himmler, Fritz Saukel. Now, if you democratically elect terrorists to run your country, keep in mind that there are going to be consequences when those terrorists do bad shit. You want Israel to give you free food. You want Israel to give you free electricity. Maybe if you spent a little more time working on building an infrastructure instead of building thousands of rockets to murder people, maybe the Gaza Strip wouldn't be a goddamn shithole. You want to murder innocent women and children, and that's specifically what Hamas did. They didn't go for strategic military targets. They went straight for the civilian population, murdering women and children. Not indiscriminately either. No, they intentionally sought out women and children and the elderly. These are not fucking victims. These are terrorists. If you see people firing rockets from your kid's school and those rockets are headed for Israel, you ought to be smart enough not to take your kids to school. Did you decry those people firing rockets from your children's school? No, you didn't. Every single person in the Gaza Strip who ends up a goddamn corpse deserves it. They all deserve it, every one of them. Let me tell you why the parents deserve to die. For putting their children at risk. And for promoting the death of others. The genocide of Israelis. Fuck Palestine, and especially fuck Hamas. I don't support terrorists. I don't support Americans because of that. Good luck finding Americans that do not support terrorism. Most Americans support terrorism. As long as it's terror against someone you don't like. Christians love to terrorize Muslims in this country. Christians also love to terrorize Jews in this country. Christians also love to terrorize atheists in this country. And Christians love to justify it by claiming everybody's evil but them. Gross. I couldn't be more disgusted if I tried. Hamas are not the good guys. If you elect Adolf Hitler as your leader, you do not get to whine and complain when your leader does bad shit and you have to pay the consequences. You chose that leadership. Now, if you're going to support terrorism and then whine about consequences, I'm somebody who knows quite a bit about consequences. I'll commit felonies to keep children safe. Now, there was quite a few pictures of dead children, and I could have posted them up instead. Why didn't I? Those children's lives mattered, didn't they? Well, I want you to take a look at this woman's body on the front of this. Stacked up like cordwood. All Palestinians have done since the attacks against Israel is pretend that the Israelis deserve it and they're poor innocent victims. Oh, all the Palestinians are poor innocent victims, but all of the Jews are evil occupiers trying to destroy Palestine. No, that's Israel. The Israelis are occupying their own country, not yours. You go bombing people and then you want to complain that they bomb you back? Are you fucking insane? Of course you are. Kind of like the Bollinger family and their friends wanted to terrorize me for over a year. As if it was magically okay because I have a penis. Well, it's not okay. I'm not going to pretend that it's okay just because you want to pretend it's okay. That doesn't make it okay. See if I can find some tools that I can hopefully fashion this nail into something I can use to repair my 500 watt modified sine wave power inverter so I can actually charge my phone. Am I against Israel bombing civilian targets? Yes. Is Israel bombing civilian targets? No. When you use a school as a military base, it's no longer a school. Expect that if you use a school as a military base, it shall be used, of course, as target practice, as if it was used as a military base to fire rockets at civilians in Israel. Don't be fucking stupid. See, Palestine is doing the same thing that the Bollinger family did. Abuse others, and then play victim when there's a goddamn response. Now, I would feel bad for the Palestinians if I heard even a single Palestinian through all of this speaking about how wrong what Hamas did was. You want to talk about how Israel is occupying this Palestine, right? Occupying it. No, they're not. Palestine is its own country, its very own country. While Israel literally gave a free country to the Palestinians when By right of conquest, it was theirs. They gave up a lot of land to Palestinians, and the Palestinians don't care. What they want is Jerusalem. But that's not what they've called for. They haven't called for Jerusalem, have they? Oh, sure, it's one of the things that they say they want. But what they're calling for is the complete and total eradication of any and all Jews. Not that you paid any fucking attention, dumbasses. You want to feel sorry for the Palestinians because they're the underdogs? No, they're not. The Israelis are surrounded by people who hate them because of religion. I don't have any respect for Christian zealots or for Muslim zealots. If you're a Muslim who sees a Jew as a human being, well, I've read the Quran. Seems to me that's what you're supposed to do. According to the Quran itself. That's right, according to the Quran itself. Jews and Christians are also God's people. You want to use words like infidel, which first of all is not a Muslim word. And second of all, you know what it means? Non-believer. That's right. Non-believer. The problem that most Muslims have isn't your religion, however. Most Muslims recognize what the Quran actually says. The problem that most of these Muslims have with you Christians is that you don't practice what you preach. When you oppress others, they deserve it, don't they? Isn't that how you sell it? The dead girl in front of this. Obviously, she's not a dressed up militant out to kill people. Obviously, she's not armed to the teeth, going through the Gaza Strip and murdering civilians at random. Obviously, she's not going through the Gaza Strip, picking women and children to murder in front of their families, and then stealing specifically women and children to take as hostages. Tell you what, if you were to hand me a rifle and an airplane ticket today, I'd go shoot some goddamn Palestinians. They targeted women and children. That's something I'm wholeheartedly willing to fucking slaughter all of you wholesale for. I've chosen the peaceful option until now. And because I'm in the United States, I'm still choosing the civilian option. I'm still choosing the peaceful option. I'm still choosing not to pick up a firearm and start blasting people. With Israel mobilizing and America full of cowards, I don't want to be in this fucking country. And with Hamas targeting women and children for the 11th time in 6 years, oh, hell yes. Hell yes, I am willing to shoot. If you're going to target children, your life is fucking worthless. Now that's a good father. That's love. It don't sound like it, do it, but that is love. That father don't want to lose his child. That father that you just heard, he's not being mean to his child. He's trying to preserve his child's life as a good parent should. Is that what parents in Palestine are doing? No, they're teaching their children in Palestine to whine. These Israelis provide you with power, provide you with food. Even though you're not a part of their nation, they provide you with foreign aid every single day. And you're so ungrateful about it. Well, now it's gone. You didn't decry the horrible things that Hamas chose to do, specifically to civilian women and children. If I were a Palestinian, I wouldn't take my kids to the mall. And I wouldn't take my kids to school. And do you know why? It's not just Hamas firing rockets. Some of those soldiers are from former Russian republics, like Georgia or Estonia. See, the Palestinians are stuck between a rock and a hard place because most of these people who are doing this fighting for Hamas are not Palestinians. They're Jordanians. That's right. Jordan provides more terrorists than even Iran. And Iran supports more terrorist organizations than any other country in the world. They spend more of their gross national product on terrorists than any other country. It's out of a hatred for Jews. Not the Israeli government, but Jews. They're not accusing the Israeli government of occupying the Gaza Strip. This is not what they're saying. They're saying that the Israeli people themselves are occupying Palestinian land and need to get the fuck off of it. That'd be like if Native Americans, they're the underdogs here, aren't they? What if Native Americans were launching attacks on American cities, firing rockets at American cities and saying, get the fuck off of our land? Where are we going to go? Not sure if you're aware of this, but I was born on the continent of North America. This is my native land. Most of those Israelis being murdered. Like this girl here. The dead girl on the cover of this video. She wasn't alive. Wasn't even alive the last time Palestine had any sort of a claim to the Dome on the Rock. Hamas targeted specifically civilian women and children. And the Palestinian people still have not decried those actions. The Palestinian people have shown loud and proud that they believe these things to be okay. Well, if it's okay to do that to the Jews, then it should be okay for the Jews to do it back. See, here's the thing, is that when you have a school that is launching missiles and rockets towards Israel, you should be an intelligent fucking parent. Now, the equivalent, that guy there, when his daughter was running around trying to run around in traffic, imagine if he encouraged her to go play in traffic instead. Smart idea, huh? No, it's not. He knows it's fucking stupid to do that, so that's not what he did. He actually cares about his child. Now, for me, I had a lot of people when Natalie disappeared that promised to help me, and then they wanted to hide behind their children when they didn't keep their word. Oh, I just found out what's wrong with this. One of the wires came loose. The Palestinian people are not using their brains. They're not seeing the Jews as people. And they're making the Dome on the Rock more important than their own kids. The Israelis are not occupying Palestine. The Israelis are occupying Israel. They're retaliating against terrorist acts. The same as Afghanistan responded to terrorist acts committed by the United States. I've lived in the U.S. long enough to know that Americans' favorite thing to do is to talk about themselves. And that when it comes to right and wrong, no American actually cares. To an American, right and wrong is based on popularity. And popularity is based on what you're told. What do we call that? Propaganda or gossip? Take your pick. It's the same shit. Propaganda, like when you rape somebody and then you call her mentally ill, or him mentally ill. Oh, I'd never do anything like that. He's just mentally ill. Truly? Is that the way you want to sell it? That's why people like me speak up. And where's that nail? I definitely don't have the hand strength for what I'm about to do, but maybe if I fuck with it long enough, or smack it with I know I have a hammer in here somewhere. Gotta make sure my stuff actually works. Oh, yeah, that's not gonna work. I need the other set of pliers. Fuck it, I might have a hacksaw in here somewhere. Well, if we can put a little bit of a dent or a divot in part of this here nail, might be able to move it back and forth if I can find something to wedge it in, because like I said, I don't have much hand strength, so I have to wedge it with my weight. Do I think it's okay for the Israelis to be targeting civilian populations? No, I don't. Are they targeting civilian populations? No, they're not. They're targeting military targets. Military targets. If Hamas fires rockets from a mall and you don't think that mall should be bombed, you should be smart enough to be getting the fuck out of there the moment you notice that Hamas is setting up fucking rockets. Also, you've been getting your asses kicked by the Jews long enough to know that if you fire rockets from your fucking school, they're gonna bomb the fucking school. See, they're shooting at something that is clearly marked as a school from up in the air. What they're shooting at is the areas where there are burns on the ground from those Hamas rockets. You want to pretend that the Israelis are horrible people for blowing up launch sites. But you don't say anything about the horrible fact that those launch sites are used to launch rockets at civilian populations within Israel. The Gaza Strip, what is that? Who owns it? Who's in charge of it? The Israeli government has been working with Hamas, despite the fact that the United States and many other nations, including Great Britain, still classify Hamas as a terrorist organization. Why do the Israelis keep working with this terrorist organization who is known for terrorizing Israelis in specific? Because the Israelis actually give a shit about the Palestinians. The same cannot be said the other way around. That's right, I said the Israelis actually care about the Palestinians. Goddamn spider. Let me see this here spider. There he is. Little bastard. Looks a lot more like a tick, Tony. But he's got a web. Damn, he's got some big old incisors too. I should probably kill him, right? Isn't that what you guys would do? Oh no, I'm just gonna knock him into a cup and toss him outside. No, guess not. He just fell down on me. Oh well. So what are we doing, folks? We're doing horrible shit to each other. Whole world full of it. None of y'all got the brains God gave a fucking rock. At least when a rock is lost, it knows to stay put until it's found. Whether it has a dome on it or not. Alright. This did take a lot longer than it would have back in the day, but I used to have a lot better hand strength. I used to draw pictures of people for a living. I didn't make a very good living, so I must not have been a very good artist. Of course, Van Gogh wasn't a very good artist. Had some good ideas, but he wasn't a very good artist. That's part of the reason that he did the artwork that he did, is because he wasn't a very good artist. But he was able to make do with what he had. Now, do I actually feel bad for the Palestinians? Of course I do. Who the fuck wouldn't? I'm not a heartless piece of shit. Hamas started this shit again and again and again. And there are 3 Palestinian governments. None of them can agree on the color of shit. Israel has been helping out Hamas because they actually care about human beings. Not because they give a shit about Hamas. Not because they're friends with Hamas. But because Palestinians are people too. However, if the Palestinian people are going to help Hamas to get away with doing these horrible things and pretend like it's somehow magically justified, well, no. No, I'm not gonna fucking fall for that bullshit. That woman on the front of this, she's dead because she was occupying Palestine, except she wasn't in Palestine. She was in Israel. She wasn't trying to hurt anybody.